Hi everyone. In the previous video, we understood what a database is and what a table is and how do we store data using rows and columns. Now a very important question comes. If a data is already stored, how do we actually get the data we want? For example, how do we display all the students? How do we get only names and marks? To do this, we use something called query. In this video, I will explain what a query is, and we will start with the most important SQL command, select statement, in a very simple and beginner friendly way. If you are preparing for a placements or learning SQL from scratch, then this video is perfect for you. First, let us understand what a query is. A query is a simple request for data. Whenever we want some information from a database, we ask it using a query. For example, if I say in English, show me all the students who scored more than 80 marks, this sentence itself is a query. But the database does not understand English. The database understands only SQL language. So we convert our question into SQL format. The SQL formatted question is called SQL query. So now we can say that a query is a question and SQL query is how we ask that question using SQL language. So guys, this is very simple. Just like we search something on Google by typing a question, we search data in a database by writing a query. Now every student have this doubt. What is the difference between query and SQL query? Let me explain this in a very simple way. A query is a question. For example, if I say display all the students who scored more than 80 marks, this is a query because the question is in English. But the database cannot understand English. So we convert this English question into SQL language. The SQL formatted question is called an SQL query. So guys, by this we can say that every SQL query is a query, but not every query is an SQL query. Guys, if you understood this statement, then please give an explanation for this in the comment section and I will read every comment. Now that we understood what a query is and what is an SQL query, the next question is, which SQL command do we use to get data from the table? For that, SQL provides something called select. The select statement is used to retrieve the data from the table in a database. Whenever we want to display the data, read the data or view the records, we use select statements. So I can say that select means choose. When we write select, we are telling the database, please choose this data and show it to me. So guys, it's just like we select a contact from our phone. We select data from a table using select statement. Now let us understand how to write the select statement. That is the syntax of our first SQL query. Now let us understand the syntax of select statement. Syntax means the structure or format in which we write a command. Every SQL query must follow a proper syntax, otherwise the database will not understand it. Now have a look at this syntax. Select column name from table name and ending with semicolon. Let me explain this line by line. Select, this tells the database what data we want. Column name means the column we want to display. From, it tells the database from which table the data should come. As we know that there are multiple tables in a database and we have to choose one. Table name is the name of the table that contains the data. Guys, remember that each and every table in a database has a unique name. So basically we are telling the database, select this column from this particular table. And now look at this syntax guys, that is select star from table name. Guys, this star symbol, technically we call this asterisk. So make a habit of calling it as asterisk from now on. If we use this asterisk symbol with select, then all the columns will get selected from the particular table. So this query will display all the data from the table. And also guys, this is very important. SQL is not case sensitive. That is, the select and from keywords, if you write in lower case also, the query will execute. But writing these keywords in capital letters is a good practice. Now that we understood the syntax, let us see real example using a table called student. And now let's understand the select statement using some examples. Suppose we have a table called student. This table contains 3 columns, that is ID, name and marks. This is an example query to display all the data in the table, that is select asterisk from student ending with semicolon. So this will display all the columns, and this query will display all rows and the columns from the student table. Now coming to the second example, that is select name, comma, marks from student ending with semicolon. This query will display specific columns from the table. Here we are selecting only name and marks columns. The ID column will not be displayed. And guys, this is very important. Select does not change the data. It only displays the data. So by using the select statement, we can display all the data using asterisk or only required columns from the table. So in this video, we understood what a query is, the difference between query and SQL query, and also we learned our first SQL statement, that is select with example. If you are new to SQL, make sure you watch this video again and practice writing the queries by yourself. If you have any doubts, drop them in the comments and I will reply. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to this channel for more placement oriented SQL videos. See you in the next video. Happy learning.